It's Alyssa from Romewise, your go-to guide to Rome. I am here today at the Palatine Hill to talk to you about yet another ticketing rule at the Colosseum. So in 2019, we had some new rules, talk about that. And in January of 2020, which is right now, there is a whole new ticket in place called the Full Experience. We're gonna explore that, actually do it, and I'm gonna take you with me. So, ready? Here we go. Okay guys, this is my new ticket that I just bought. It is a full experience ticket with access to the arena. It's noon on Wednesday, January 22nd. I am going to go over to the stern entrance. I have to be there by 12:30, and we're gonna go check out the arena and the Colosseum. After that, I will have access to the Palatine Hill Roman Forum and all the super sites on the Palatine Hill Roman Forum, and we are just going to see how that works. All right, I am heading to the stern entrance now. It's very exciting because this new ticket allows you to see the arena floor. This is really new. It used to be that to see the arena floor, you had to book a tour. So I'm very excited. Here we go. Okay, I've just arrived at the stern entrance and they checked my ticket. She said, let me see what time it says, 12:30. She checked her phone, it's 12:20. She said, come back in 10 minutes. So they're really strict about this time. There's not even like a leeway. I wonder if I'm late, if I would get in. So don't be early and don't be late. Be prompt. With this full experience, you can book either the arena or the underground. With the arena, what happens is you get somebody to bring you in. So there's this lady standing back there and she is sort of in charge of me. And you get 20 minutes on the arena floor, after which you're inside the Colosseum. If you want to do the underground, that one does require a guided tour, and you can book it, of course, with the Colosseum. The full experience ticket, you really don't have to book a time for the Colosseum unless you are skipping the arena and the underground, which sort of defeats the purpose of getting this full experience ticket. I think seeing the arena is cool in part because it is pretty exclusive. You can't just show up at the Colosseum and come here. So this is, as I said, part of the full experience ticket. It's also a tour that you can book with Co-op Culture. You can also book this tour with a regular tour company. And visiting the arena gives you at least a taste of what it was like to be at this level when the gladiators were fighting and they had the crowds roaring above them. Can you imagine it? Take a look. Okay, so arena means sand, and this whole floor was covered with sand. That's one of the reasons why it's not here anymore. This was obviously remade, this floor. Why was the floor covered with sand? You probably can imagine, to absorb all the blood. Guys, a tour of the underground is amazing and worthwhile, and I've done it and it's fantastic, but I'm just here showing you from above, and they are doing a bunch of work here, so it's hard to see it in all its glory. But it is pretty fascinating to see. And what you can imagine that went on down there, okay, this is where they kept the gladiators who would fight, prisoners who were going to be executed, and the poor animals that were tortured and starved, so that when they came up onto the arena floor, they would be angry and vicious and fighting back. You can see that there is a replica of a trapdoor. Now that I'm out here on the arena with this ticket, I've been told I can only be on the right-hand side of the arena. That's so that they can separate out the groups so everybody's not talking over each other. So I can't get close to that, but I've been here before, so I can show you another picture. But that's what the trapdoor used to look like, and there's an elevator as well that you can see. You can see it better from underground. Well, guys, I've left the arena. I'm walking around the Colosseum on my own. There are two main levels that you can access with a normal Colosseum ticket. I'm now on the ground level. I could go up there as well, which I'm not going to do today because today is just about investigating this ticket for you guys. So if you're doing this on your own, you can expect to spend about an hour, even an hour and a half, depending on how much time you want to spend in the Colosseum. You get 20 minutes on the arena floor. If you're going to do the underground, it's going to take a little bit longer. That's about not quite an hour tour, so account for that as well. Visiting the Colosseum on your own, just walking around, it can take you anywhere from 20 minutes to typically more like an hour if it's your first time here. So allot that amount of time, and you probably could go in the morning, have a little lunch break, and then go visit the Palatine Hill Roman Forum in the afternoon. Keep in mind the closing times. The whole park, the Colosseum, the Palatine, the Roman Forum, they all close an hour before sundown, and last entry is an hour before that. So you got to look at the times on Co-op Culture. I'm here in January. The last entry is 3:30, and the whole park is closed down at 4:30. So you've really got to budget your time well if you're visiting these sites, including the super sites with the full experience ticket in winter. Okay, to recap, if all you want to do is visit the Colosseum, the simplest ticket you can get is the €16 one-day entry to the Colosseum, Roman Forum, Palatine Hill. You must book a date and time for the Colosseum, and I recommend you do this in advance on the Co-op Culture website. The next kind of ticket that you can get is going to be an upgrade of that ticket for €4. You have to do it in person. This is not available online. So you get your €16 ticket, book your Colosseum time, then you walk that ticket over to the Palatine Hill Roman Forum, and for €4 you can upgrade this ticket to include the super sites. If for some reason you do not need to see the Colosseum, you've seen it before, you don't want to contend with the crowds, you are happy to see it from the outside, you have more of an interest in all of the incredible ruins that there are on the Palatine Hill and Roman Forum, you can get an only Palatine Hill Roman Forum ticket that includes the super sites and does not include entry to the Colosseum. That ticket is €16. And the most complete ticket that you can buy right now, as of January 2020, is the full experience ticket. So this ticket gives you access to the Colosseum, access to the arena or the underground. If it's the arena, it's without a tour. If it's the underground, it is with a tour through the Colosseum. You've got to book those in advance online. If you do this in high season, you're likely not to find a space. You can't just walk up and do this. This ticket also includes access to the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill and all the super sites on the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill. And this ticket is good for 2 days. Just remember that you cannot re-enter. So you probably would do your arena or underground and Colosseum either in the morning, and then the Palatine and Roman Forum and super sites in the afternoon, or the Colosseum and arena or underground one day, and then the next day you would do the Palatine, Roman Forum, and super sites in one day. I think the Palatine and Roman Forum, if you want to see all the super sites, you kind of need a full day. Remember, these tickets are not good for re-entry, and also they must be used in 2 consecutive days. You can't break them up. Okay, just left the Colosseum. Here I've got in front of me the Arch of Constantine, and over to the left is the entrance to the Palatine Hill. We are going to go here inside of the Arch of Titus, underneath the Arch of Titus. That's where we're going to head in and get into the Roman Forum. Well guys, one of the sites, the super sites on my ticket is the stunning ancient Basilica of Santa Maria Antiqua, and we're gonna head in because it's open. I love this site, it's amazing. All right, so I've been visiting Santa Maria Antiqua, up the ramp, and in the Room of the 40 Martyrs. These are things that are accessible only with the super ticket. So either the full experience ticket or that ticket that I told you about that is only the Palatine Hill Roman Forum and super sites, no Colosseum, for €16, or buying the regular Colosseum ticket for €16 and then upgrading to the super ticket for an additional €4. So lots of options to see the super sites. The last thing that I want to see is the forums of Julius Caesar and Trajan. These sites are actually managed by the city. I'm now inside the Roman Forum. I'm walking down the Via Sacra, and This site is managed by the state of Italy. So connecting this with the sites that are managed by the city, I know that seems like it should be straightforward, but in Italy, it's not always the case. It's really nice that they've opened up all these things, and I'm just loving these accesses to these different parks and new sites that they've been opening, like the Domus Transitoria. Very exciting. But these new ticketing rules are a little confusing. They keep changing. It's now January 2020, and I'm making this video for you guys. I really come down here, I buy my own ticket, and I take the time to video for you because I want to help. I want to help you understand these rules because it's not clear on the website. I've spoken with several people today at ticket booths and inside of the Colosseum, and even they are not clear on all the rules. So I'm doing my best to make it clear for you. I hope that you find this helpful, and hopefully you will find it seamless and smooth when you come to Rome and book your own tickets. So I have to keep looking down because I'm walking on the Via Sacra and it's cobblestones from ancient Rome. Guys, we're kind of closing in on the end of our visit here. As I've told you, with the full experience ticket, you could break this up over 2 days, always remembering that you only get one entrance to the Palatine Hill Roman Forum, which is considered one park, and only one entrance to the Colosseum. So now we're heading towards the edge here, which is getting closer to Capitoline Hill. That's Capitoline Hill up there. That's where the mayor's office is. And this giant building under scaffolding over here is Julius Caesar's Curia, where the Senate was. All right, guys, I'm literally on this ramp here, leaving the Roman Forum, heading into Julius Caesar's Forum. On this ramp here. One final word, if you come here to buy your ticket, you're buying it from the city of Rome, and you will not be able to access the super sites or the Colosseum. Well, that concludes this video all about visiting the Colosseum, the arena, the Palatine Hill, the Roman Forum, the super sites, and the Imperial Forums, all with the full experience ticket. I hope that you find these videos helpful. I'm trying to update you every time there are new rules here. Please hit the like button below and subscribe. See you at the next video. Ciao for now.